What are you doing with your dash? The dash between your birth date and your legacy date. The dash that represents your life. Hi Sharks, I'm Elisha Story and I am Chief Visionary Officer and founder of Dashin Apparel. Dashin is an acronym for Dying to Achieve Success and Happiness in God. And it's based on the dash between the day we're born and our legacy date, the dash that represents your life. And I'm here today seeking $100,000 for 25% of my business. Now we all know the definition of dash. It means to move quickly, to strike something, or to add a little something to something else. But when you add ing to dash, the definition changes to stylish, bold, and full of spirit. To break it down even further, D, when you want to do something so bad you are dying to do it. We have all said we're dying to go to this new restaurant. We're dying to see this new movie. And some of us are dying to follow and find our purpose. And if you're doing that, you need to die to some people, places, and things to accomplish it. ASH, achieve success and happiness. That abundant life that looks different for everyone can best be achieved when you're in ing, God, thus dashing. So I started Dashin Apparel because I lost my dad. And even though he was 84, it hit me hard because I'm a daddy's girl. He had a great homegoing service with over 500 people in attendance, so I know he left a legacy. So after his gravesite ceremony, I took flowers off his grave and put them on the graves of family members buried nearby. Now the first one I did that to was my maternal grandmother. Now she was my hero. She was the first Black chief deputy of voters registration from my hometown. Now I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. Even though I'm here recording in Dallas, I consider myself a Hoosian. That's a combination Indiana Hoosier and Texas Texan. And my grandmother left her Indiana legacy in Indianapolis. So much so that when she retired, they gave her a key to the city. And they named the day after her, Leanna Maggard Day. Now also, I put flowers in the graves of my great uncle and great grandfather, who I was blessed to have known and loved. And they were inspiration to me because they were entrepreneurs that had their own successful businesses and never finished high school. So while I was doing this, I kept thinking about that dash and looking at that and saying, wow, that is a small representation of some grand and awesome people. And what am I going to do with my dash and what legacy do I want to leave? So all the way back to Dallas, I kept thinking about that dash. And God dropped dashing into my spirit, dying to achieve success and happiness in God. Now, the same year I lost my dad, I lost my job, 2015. And this was the third time I got laid off. And so I said, okay, God, you're trying to tell me it's time to dash. So the first thing I did was enroll in a business course. It was called Getting Down to Business, a collaboration between SCORE and Capital One, where they matched funds and also helped you with the fundamentals and gave you basic foundation for starting a business. So one of the first things I did and learned about was getting trademarks and patents. And so dashing is fully protected with 2 trademarks. One for the word dashing, the next for the dashing meaning and explanation, for the colors, and for the categories that go along with my brand. So I graduated in 7 months and I was the keynote speaker for the class. And one of the things I told them is that the future's so bright, we gotta wear shades. So in that bright future, I moved on to start dashing. Now my mentors and coaches of the program said I should do an e-commerce site, and I agree. It was the most economical way to reach the most amount of people. Also, I chose to do athleisure wear because it's not going anywhere. Everybody wears athleisure wear. Men, women, and children. You can dress it up, you can dress it down, and you can write messages on there that inspire, that get you to think, that provoke. And I said, oh, this is great. But everybody has the e-commerce site. So I said, I need to be different and do something different. So what I did was wrote and co-produced my own theme song. And you heard part of that at the beginning of this video. So now I'm ready to dash. And I'm an HR professional, and I've been in HR my whole career. So I know nothing about running a retail business. So I hire a consultant, and this consultant advises me that I should use a factory in China from an economic standpoint and get a beginner designer to make some designs for me. What she didn't tell me though is you have to have a certain amount of spend for China to give you what you want, the colors and the fabrics. Otherwise, they give you what's on hand. And so my spend was $15,000 to $20,000, which was not enough. And so my first launch failed. And so I was devastated. I felt like I looked flaky, unprofessional, and confused, and I just stopped dashing. Fast forward to 2020, pandemic hit. I got laid off again. This is time 4. I'm like, okay, I hear you. Time to start dashing again. So because of the pandemic and what's going on in the world, there was a lot of opportunities for entrepreneurs, especially minority women. So I applied for some grants and some programs, and I won a grant from Beyonce's Baygood and the NAACP. I got $10,000, and this letter says that there were over 13,000 applicants in round 2, and I was one of the ones that was chosen. So now I got $10,000 to dash. So first thing I did was revamp my website, and then I went out and bought some inventory and used some money for content and social media, and kept some money to live on because, of course, I'm unemployed. And so I was given the advice to use print on demand instead of using local vendors. And that's a great idea because it gets me out of inventory, it gets me out of the weeds and customer service. I can be more strategic. However, the quality was not the way I wanted it as far as the printing and the fabrics, not what I wanted for dashing. And I didn't want to lose my customers before I got them. So I decided to go back to small batch local vendors, and that's what I'm using now. So with print on demand, my margins were somewhere between 40 and 60%. With small batch, they're more like 40 to 50%, but I still get the quality. Cost landed, my shirts, right now I'm just concentrated on t-shirts, bracelets, hats, but I do plan to expand to leggings, bralettes, and other athleisure wear, especially for women. So right now my cost landed is somewhere between $7 and $10, and I know that's kind of high, and that all depends on the fabrics that you use, the blanks that you use, the colors, and locations. So that's where I am right now. I put $30,000 of my own money into the business, and what I want to do with your $100,000 is, first of all, I need help. I mean, I'm a one-person show. I'm the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. And so I don't know nothing about baking. I don't know nothing about making candles, and I cannot cut meat. So I need some help. I need admin help. I need social media help. I get great feedback about the concept, but it's the greatest concept in business and nobody ever heard of. So I got to get the word out there. And I also need the money for manufacturing distribution, which continues to be an issue for me. I got to get those margins down, and I'm going to get those margins up and those costs down. So that's what I'll be using your money for. Now, I've already proven the concept because I've made sales, not necessarily in 2020, that was my rebuilding year. This year, I made about $1,400 in sales. However, it's projected to get me to at least $60,000. And next year, I plan to replace my income for at least $115,000. So right now, why would you want to invest in me? Well, first of all, what makes me unique and what makes Dashing unique is that it's the timing and the message. So the message is something that everybody can resonate with. Everybody has a life, everybody has a dash, everybody has a purpose, and hopefully they're trying to pursue it. The timing couldn't be more perfect for Dashing because unfortunately we're in a pandemic, we have a pending new normal, economic turmoil, social unrest, and natural disasters. So people are looking for something to hold on to, believe in, and live for. And Dashing can help them do that. They can look in the mirror and be inspired. They can walk down the street and inspire someone else to keep dashing and to find their purpose. So what's unique about me? Well, it's my story, and everybody has one. And oh yeah, it's my last name. So really quickly, I was in a really bad car accident when I was a freshman in college. A friend of mine who was actually an IU basketball star was part of the 1981 championship team. So the whole accident was highly publicized. We were on our way to Kings Island. He's just like a big brother to me. So it's him, myself, my boyfriend at the time, and his girlfriend. But we never made it. We got into an accident, a one-car accident where we hit an abutment. The car went airborne, landed on the roof, and caught on fire in the front. He's 6'10", so I pushed him into the steering wheel, broke his neck, and collapsed his lungs. And he's never walked since. However, I walked away with very few injuries. And after that accident, I found that I was pregnant. Now, luckily, and praise God, my son was born fine, but I was spared for a reason. And so the reason is this dash and my purpose. So I can't help but do what I have to do because that's what I've been called to do. And what I want to do is inspire and help other people to do the same, to find their purpose and live it. So Sharks, I got 3 questions for you. Are you living? Are you existing? Or are you dashing? You need to be stylish, bold, and full of the spirit. I'm Alicia Story, and I'm inviting you to come dashing with me.